Guys, Tonic here. Today I'm going to be giving my honest thoughts on the new Fallout 76 Pitt Expedition. There is some stuff that I like and there's also some stuff that I don't like, so let's get right into it. When the Pitt Expedition was first announced, I was kind of hoping for something like Fallout 4's Far Harbor DLC or Fallout New Vegas' Honest Hearts DLC or any of the DLCs like that. One where you could go to a new open world location with a whole new storyline, new characters, new quests, and new loot. And this Pitt Expedition does sort of have all of that, but at the same time it's very different. It's almost like a guided story through a level, rather than an entirely new story where you get to make all of the big decisions and explore a whole new map and all of that. It's pretty interesting. It kind of fell right in the middle of my expectations. On one hand, I was expecting that traditional Fallout DLC, and on the other I was expecting a really small instance location with a basic quest, and it's just sort of right in the middle. Now, I have seen a lot of people calling this Daily Ops 2.0, and I don't really agree with that. If anything, I would honestly compare it to the old Vault raids. In my opinion, it's much more similar to the old Vault 94 raid than it is to Daily Ops, and even then there's still a lot more that the Pit has to offer. Honestly, I almost see it as just a standard MMO style dungeon. For example, in ESO, when you do a dungeon, you will travel into an instance location with 4 people, follow a short storyline, fight lots of enemies, and then you will end up getting to the end and fight a boss, and that pretty much completes the dungeon quest. You get tons of XP and loot for that specific dungeon, and Fallout 76's Pitt Expedition pretty much follows that exact formula. You travel into a new location and follow a quest that takes you around the map, and it ends with you fighting a boss and getting XP and rewards. Also, it's about the same length as most MMO dungeons, so I almost view the Pit as just Fallout 76's new version of a dungeon. They have had dungeons before in the form of vault raids, but those got removed a while ago. And with that being said, I feel like the Pit does lack some of that classic dungeon challenge. It's pretty easy if you have a decent build, but I will get more into that later. For now, I would like to talk about what I like about the Pit update, and then I will move into what I don't like. So starting off, I love the map design. The Pit looks excellent, both maps are beautiful, and I really enjoyed exploring both areas. The Union Dues map did a great job of capturing that feeling of Fallout 3's Pit DLC for me, that feeling of just being in the center of a large, destroyed, and dangerous city. Also, the Ashes to Fire mission is really cool to explore. That mission has the Trench, which is this big area that's very similar to the Divide from Fallout New Vegas, and it also has the Catacombs and the Sanctum, and those areas are really fun to explore as well, and I think that is the best part of the Pit for me. The map design here is great. For my next one, I do like the Responders coming back. They are a neat faction, and hopefully going forward we can get some more quests tied to them, or get to learn more about them, or help them out in some other ways. Also, I really like Orlando. I like how they are tied to the White Spring Resort Management, which we assume is the Enclave, so this could just be a big setup to include a future Enclave storyline or something like that. I just love when Bethesda adds in characters with a whole lot of mystery. Another big thing I love is that these expeditions are not timed. I think that's huge for the Pit because we can take our time exploring the area, checking everything out, and finding the notes and the holotapes and taking photos. Also, I really like how the missions are checkpointed. I think that's great. It's nice knowing that I'm not locked in to play the entire mission, so I can leave if I get low on ammo or stim packs, or if I just need to stop playing and go do something. It's nice to come right back and continue the mission where I left off. And then for the last one, I really like the Ashes to Fire storyline. Union Dues was good, but Ashes to Fire really caught my attention, and I just enjoyed playing through that one. I wanted to talk with all of the characters and learn more about the Trench and the Sanctum, and I love the dark tone of the mission. It felt very story driven, and seeing the dark side of the Fanatics was awesome. And I hope going forward that we can get more missions like Ashes to Fire and other expeditions. Again, I still do like Union Dues. It's still a good mission, but Ashes to Fire is definitely my favorite. And now for the stuff I don't like. Firstly, I'm not the biggest fan of the rewards, and there's a few reasons. So first, the grind for stamps is pretty long. You don't get many stamps for completing a mission, and the plans cost a lot of stamps. Now, I understand why it's like this. It's to keep people playing, but I would love to see those prices decrease just a little bit. Also, the rewards pool just doesn't really have a whole lot in there that I do want to grind for. Now, over time, I believe that they said that the Auto Axe and Union Power Armor plans will be added to the rewards pool after this season ends, and I think that will definitely boost it because those are items actually worth grinding for. Also, I think they should have included the Infiltrator as a reward. I believe that this would have been a huge hit because it was an amazing weapon in Fallout 3, and players have been asking for the R91 Assault Rifle now for a while, so it would have been the perfect time to introduce it, and I think people would have loved it. And it would just be nice to have a new commando-style weapon to mix up the current meta a bit. But hopefully in the future we can get it from another expedition. Moving on though, next up, I don't like how easy the Pit is. Now, it is recommended for level 50 and up, and I have seen some people say that it is hard, but I've seen so many people say that they can solo it easily. Personally, I can do it with my Bloody Stealth Commando build solo, and I would have loved an option to change the difficulty. In the old Vault raids, you could choose to do them on different difficulties. I believe they were Novice, Standard, or Expert, and if you chose a higher difficulty, then you would get better rewards. And I think the Pitt could really use that option. It would be so fun to set it to the highest difficulty and try to beat it solo or with a group. You would actually need an amazing build, tons of ammo and stim packs, and it would just be plain hard to do. You could work together with friends to have a tank build, a DPS build, and a medic build to try and beat it efficiently. Plus, with the increased rewards of higher difficulties, it could really help to cut down on that grind. And I think that one setting alone could bring so much replayability to these expeditions, and I would love to see that added in the future. And for another thing, I have seen some reports of players getting kicked from Expedition public teams when it gets near the end, and that is not cool at all, and I would love to see a feature put in place to prevent that, because these do take some time, and spending all of that ammo and aid and time during an expedition just to get kicked is horrible. I personally haven't seen it yet, and I would assume that it's pretty rare, but still I would love to see a system set up so that can't happen. Maybe you could resume the expedition without the group, or just get transferred into your own instance and complete it there. I'm not really sure of a good solution, but it is worth mentioning. Also, I don't like that the Pitt has no map. I always find myself trying to open it while playing, and it's just a darkened version of the normal map. I'm not sure why there isn't one. Maybe there is an engine limitation here, and this is just a minor complaint, but it is something small that I would like to see added. And for the last one, this is not a major issue at all, but I do not like the big icon to get into the Pitt from the map. I love the menu itself once you click on the icon, but the icon is huge and it sticks out a lot when looking at the map, and trying to imagine this from a brand new player's perspective, I feel like it seems a bit intrusive and a bit much, so hopefully in the future they can condense this menu and we can launch expeditions from somewhere else. And again, this is a very small complaint, but it's something I notice every time I open my map to fast travel. Overall though, I do like this update, and this is just the beginning of expeditions. If they are able to pump these out somewhat often, maybe once or twice a year on top of the normal story content and events and all of that, then I think these will really help the future of Fallout 76. There are so many cool things that they could do with this system. We could check out places that we've never been to before in a Fallout series, or see some familiar places like what they did with the Pitt, or they could even tie expeditions into that new Fallout TV show that's in production. I think that would be sweet if during the TV show we got an update that brings us to that area and we could maybe even meet some of the characters from the show in the game or something along those lines. There is just so much that they could do with this, and I'm really looking forward to where they go next. So in the end, I'm honestly going to give it an 8 out of 10. It has brought a good amount of content to the game. It's really cool to explore a new area. Both missions are solid and I like most of the characters, but I think the main thing that holds it back from a higher score for me is the difficulty. They can be pretty easy with a decent build, and I would have loved to see a proper boss fight at the end. Maybe something along the lines of a smaller Wendigo Colossus or something like that, but a Trog. Just a boss that puts up a real challenge that you really have to try hard to beat. The bosses right now at the end are fairly easy to handle. Honestly, the hardest part of the Pitt is just keeping some of the NPCs alive as a side mission, and if we could change the difficulty setting just to be a bit harder with better rewards, then we would see tons of speedrun challenges and people trying to make the best Pitt builds for each mission, and groups really working together to beat it. Because right now to me these just seem like big dungeons, and I love dungeons and MMOs, so I am happy with that. I've always wanted repeatable content like this in Fallout 76, but I just would have liked a bit more of a challenge, a place where I can really put this endgame gear that I've grinded for to the test. And again, I know for some players the Pitt is hard, but for a lot of us that have been playing for years, this is just another piece of content that we are going to blow through easily. But these are just my thoughts on it, and I would love to hear what you all think about it. Did you like this update? Do you not like it? Do you find it easy or hard? And what would you give it on a scale from 1 to 10? Be sure to leave a comment down below because I would love to know what you all think about this update as well. But that is pretty much going to be it for this video, so I would like to say thank you for stopping by and watching. I really do appreciate it. And as always, I would like to give a massive thank you to all of the channel members: Robert Kennard, Pharaoh Guzzy, King Kittens, Cody Craig, Crispy, Omniprotus, Terry Lockridge, Jetty, Dalton Murphy, Nick Licht, Victrix, Argent Deer, Shaky Hands Workshop, Sdeath93, Axel, Kevin W, Anna S, Fallout McFly, Network Gate, Golty, Wandering Wastelander, Lanthar, Captain Awesome, Citizen Girl, Heather Henderson, Patrick Ruda, 23 Icefire, Jay Smith, Bowser Double, Frank Theodore, Digital Aardvark, Christy Mel Schwitz. Thank you guys so much. I love you guys, and have a great day.